In this video, I'll be showing how to throw a cup, trim a foot, and carve a mandala in real time on the wheel. I begin with a 25-pound block of clay. This is desert buff clay from Highwater Clay based in Asheville. With wire tool, I cut the clay into more manageable pieces. I'm weighing the blocks all the same at 12 ounces each, which is 3/4 of a pound. Once all weighed out, I ball up the clay and stack near the wheel. Throwing on the wheel is a meditative practice that takes time and patience to learn, so enjoying the process is a must. I begin by placing the ball on the wheel and securing it with a slap. I dip my hand in the water bucket and begin by centering the ball. With firm pressure and my arms in a locked position, the clay will center with ease. By first pulling up the clay into a cone and then flattening into a disc. With my thumb, I press down in the center of the disc and open up the wall. While keeping in mind how thick I want the bottom of the cup to be, I compress the bottom with light pressure and create my signature spiral on the bottom. I create the first pull by guiding the clay upward with my thumb and stabilizing the wall with my right hand and gently creating a counter pressure and moisture with the sponge. I move at the same speed as the wheel to ensure an even wall. In between wall pulls, I make sure my hands are adequately wet by dipping my hand in water. The second pull is accomplished with a different hand posture. I begin by pressing the clay from the surface of the wheel, and I place my fingers on both sides of the wall and bring the clay upward towards the center while maintaining that consistent motion and pressure so the wall is even. My goal is to create the cylindrical shape in 3 pulls. The third pull is the same as the second, but with an additional intention to create the final shape I'm going for. With the sponge, I drip water onto the inside so that I can glide along the surface with ease, and I pull the wall up in one even motion. I smooth out the surface with a wooden rib tool. I want these cups to have a smooth surface that I will be decorating with different textures and patterns and will be sharing in an upcoming video. I use a wooden trim tool to take off extra clay to prepare for trimming the foot. And I use a sponge on a stick to get any extra water left in the inside so that it doesn't crack on the bottom. With a wire tool, I cut the cup of the wheel and set it aside. I repeat this process over many times and set the cups aside to set up. Once they're all set up, a little bit less than leather hard, I bring them back to the wheel to trim. I mostly use a loop tool to trim the bottoms by starting at the center and creating a nice foot. I like to have a distinct foot to carve my signature mandala onto. The great thing about carving a foot onto your pot is with less surface on the bottom of your vessels, your drinks will stay warmer or cooler longer. Each one of my functional pieces has a unique hand-carved mandala onto the bottom. There are a few ways I do this, and here's an example of how I carve a simple mandala with a loop tool. I begin by carving the 4 points and carve additional points in between. This helps me eyeball even spacing. This pattern is found in nature and is a natural progression of growth. Once I carve the circumference, I follow the pattern and carve it to overlap the other pattern. You can continue this pattern endlessly depending on how big the surface is. I find carving mandalas to be very meditative and add a personal touch and intention to each piece. I'll be sharing some fun ways to decorate these pots in my next video. If you'd like to see how these cups turn out after I decorate, glaze, and fire them, I'll be posting that video in the near future. Let me know in the comments if this video was helpful, inspiring, or if there's something you'd like to see me sculpt in the future. Please like, subscribe, and share with a friend.